So, Tara, without further ado, off to you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. I am the Senior Manager of Vendor Engagement here at Cincinnati Metro. We've kind of been going through a rebrand, so you might see us as Cincinnati Metro, you might see us or know us as Sorta, but we're trying to go toward the Cincinnati Metro route because it's easier for people. Um, we run a very robust small business program here at Metro. And I would love to tell you guys more about it. So next slide, please. Okay, so how to do business with Metro. A little bit about Cincinnati Metro. Next slide, we are the fixed route bus service in Hamilton County with commuter routes from Claremont, Butler, and Warren counties into Cincinnati. We have about 60 million in local projects in 2024. It's around that same amount here in 2025. And these projects are all competitive projects. So that means there's an opportunity for small businesses to compete. We are currently in receipt of more than $200 million in federal grant awards for multiple projects, including our transit centers and Bus Rapid Transit. If you haven't heard about Bus Rapid Transit, it's everywhere. And if you want to hear about it, it's on our website. We have lots of community outreach for that. But within that, there are a lot of opportunities for small businesses to do business with us. Next slide. So look at our numbers. I always like to start off showing the progress of our program. So in 2019, we spent about $72,000 for small businesses. We call them XBEs because it encompasses just about every certification type. So instead of saying MWD, on and on the whole alphabet, we include everybody in XBE. So 2019, 72,000. Give me a little bit of break there. I had just started at Metro, but you can see as we go through, even through the pandemic, we start picking up a little bit of momentum. So in 2024, we spent $8.7 million with small businesses, 72 separate contracts with these businesses, an average of $120,833 per contract. That's over 11,000% increase since 2019. And it all has to do with just making the effort to use small businesses. So as you can see, as our spend increases, so does the number of contracts and average contract amount. We've awarded $4 million to small businesses so far in 2025. We anticipate at least $10 million more this year because of our Bus Rapid Transit. And overall, we've spent more than 27 million with small businesses since 2019. Next slide. Okay, so our small business programs. Let's dive a little bit into that. It's our policy to provide support and opportunities to small businesses to facilitate participation and promote growth. We target certified small businesses locally and in other geographic regions to participate in our solicitations. And we have two program types. One is the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. The other is our small business program called Metro Max. And we really encourage participation on all of our contracts, not just federal. Next slide. Okay, so Metro Max. The mission of Metro Max is to uplift small businesses and strengthen our region by expanding access to meaningful opportunities at Metro and beyond. We are dedicated to fueling local economic development by providing access to procurement opportunities, training, and resources that empower small, emerging, and disadvantaged businesses to grow, compete, and thrive. That's our mission and vision statement. Metro Max is a program that is fairly new. We've been doing it all along. We just gave a name to it. So that's what you'll see in the future, Metro Max. And Max actually stands for Maximizing Access for XBEs. Metro is not just a buying entity. We do a lot of work with our community partners to provide services to help facilitate growth for small businesses. But back to Metro Max, it's for locally funded projects only. So we invest in small businesses on both federally funded projects and locally funded projects. And federally funded projects are more or less construction or maintenance of our vehicles or security, things like that. And of course, buses. We do buy more than buses, despite what people think. So this program is for locally funded projects, and and we'll get into what we buy on our next slide, but we do a lot more than people think. And this program is a little more flexible, being that it's locally funded than our federally funded projects would be. Um, Metro Max is an independent policy apart from the federally mandated Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. We still have to do competitive procurements, so those procedures still apply. We encourage participation through contract goals and extra points awarded in proposal evaluations. And like I said, there's a wider variety of contracts, not just construction. So what do we buy? Next slide. Everything. Um, Promotional items, auditing services, plumbing, tires, architectural and engineering, tools, courier services, shredding services, building supplies. Like the list goes on and on. We buy just about everything that you could think of to make our operation run. So there are lots of things we need behind the buses that are important for us to actually operate. So just like any other building, we need cleaning supplies, or maybe we're trying to patch a hole in a wall. We need somebody to come do that for us. So we have a lot to offer. Next slide, please. Okay, our Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. Go ahead and advance. Okay, so the Department of Transportation created the DBE program to ensure non-discrimination in the award of Department of Transportation assisted contracts. As a condition of receiving these funds, Metro is required to administer a DBE program and create an overall agency goal. So the Federal Transit Administration requires recipients of this funding to submit an updated DBE goal every 3 years. And our current overall agency goal is 8.5% for years 2024 to 2026, which means that we strive to award 8.5% of all of our contracts and subcontracts to small businesses, but they have to be certified DBEs. And if you want more information about certification, we can talk offline, but we have this goal that we have to meet and we have to do it in certain ways for the federal government. It's a little, there isn't as much flexibility as there is in locally funded contracts. You have to be a certified DBE. Next slide. Federally funded projects. This is a big one. We have millions and millions of dollars for our federally funded projects from 2025 to 2028. We have 8 anticipated projects over $500 million total. They will be awarded over the next 3 to 5 fiscal years. They're mostly construction related. We have our bus rapid transit. We've got 3 transit centers, Walnut Hills, Uptown, North College Hill. The industries include general contractors, which have multiple subcontracting opportunities under those general contractors, like electrical, paving, steel, painting, pavement, all, or I said paving, but concrete pavement, all the things that we need to make our transit centers functional and our roads, well, we're going to be acquiring and making new roads. So that's going to be a big project. Now, all of these projects are in the planning phase. We will also need architectural and engineering firms to do this, and sometimes under those firms, they'll do public outreach. Those are all also federally funded. The list goes on and on. There are a lot more projects than you would think that make these projects come to life. So we establish goals on projects with the subcontracting opportunities. And what that means is we will tell the prime contractors, we want you to make an effort to reach 8% on this contract. It just varies by the relative availability of small businesses or DBEs in that field. So we'll tell them, hey, we want you to get 8% of this. We want you to make those efforts to use small businesses in the region so that we continue to invest locally. They have to make those efforts. The federal government requires them to make those efforts, and most of the time they meet those goals. So that's part of the program that the federal government really focuses on trying to get participation so that we won't need this program in the future. But I believe we're a long way from not needing the DBE program. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay. Metro Rapid. That is the name of our Bus Rapid Transit Center or Bus Rapid Transit. As you can see on the map, we've got a couple different roads that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing this in phases. We just started the solicitation to get what is considered or what's called a construction manager at risk, who will oversee the entire project, including soliciting or procuring our chosen vendor for the construction piece itself. So we've got somebody that manages it, takes all the risk, and then finds the person that can actually do the construction. So we're in that phase right now. We've got the design almost 100% complete. We are ready to start. So you'll see that really, really soon. I think the first one is Reading. We'll be starting with that. So overall, we've got 17 miles of dedicated bus lanes on Reading and Hamilton. Like I said before, construction related opportunities, but also some things that you wouldn't think about, building platforms and electrical as it pertains to the stoplights, because our buses will take precedence over all the other vehicles on the road. Like I said before, DBE goals will be set for subcontracting. I anticipate anywhere between 8 and 10%. So this project could get about $30 million in small business participation, which, we're reinvesting in our communities, and hopefully these local businesses can handle this because we've got other projects going on at the same time. The Brent Spence Bridge. So you might just want to stay out of Cincinnati at this point. It's going to be a little rough. So there's going to be ample opportunities for subcontractors to be part of this. The same way, same type of work with our transit centers, though it's a little bit different. We're not constructing roadways there. We're constructing buildings and signs and painting and all of that. So plenty of opportunities. Next slide, please. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about our successes, and it may sound like I'm boasting a little bit, but I do want to talk about how we work with businesses. Like I said before, it's more than construction. We seek small businesses to do just about everything. So I look at every incoming project and see, okay, who can I find that could potentially do this and be competitive in this field? So you'll see everything on the screen. These are all small businesses. Balloons, that was a small business. Office furniture, catering. We had someone do some HVAC work for us and fix a thermostat. We've had construction projects recently. We just awarded a $2 million contract to Kiker Construction for the renovation of our break rooms. Jostin Construction got a contract for the renovation of our fare box rooms. So there are a lot of opportunities. We're in the process of awarding a contract for an advertising agency for us that will have a lot of small business participation on it as well. So some of these are subcontracting, but a lot of these are prime contractors. So we're moving toward pushing small businesses to be less subcontractors and move toward being prime contractors. So we want them to have that contract directly. We want them to grow to be able to do that. Next. Okay, so our e-procurement software. We use an e-procurement software called OpenGov. This is our web-based electronic bidding system where we use it to procure our items and services. You can access, respond, and ask questions via OpenGov portal. You have to register to bid and receive notifications and have full access to solicitation documents. To begin registration, you go to go-metro.com and navigate to the Doing Business page, or you can scan this QR code, might be a little easier. And you may access other entities' procurements in addition to Metro. So Metro is not the only one that's on OpenGov. There are a lot of other entities that have a lot of opportunities. So it's really worth it for you to get on there, check it out, check out more than just Metro. Signing up is free. It's easy. This is a really user-friendly system. But if you need help, I can give you instructions and I can definitely take you step by step through that process. Next slide. Our trainings and events. This is a big one. We just had an ice cream social last week. These pictures aren't updated, but we just had an ice cream social last week where we had 27 businesses show up to talk to Metro staff and our community partners about opportunities and resources to help them grow. We offer quarterly trainings on topics like cost estimating, proposal writing, and bonding, in addition to these networking events. Also, we have I guess meet and greets with prime contractors as well. So sometimes we'll have events where you can connect with primes. Most often it's construction related, like Turner or Messer, companies like that, where you may not be able to get that FaceTime any other time. Like I said, we have that ice cream social. And then in December, we have a vendor fair. So we have a small business resource event where small businesses can learn. We have sessions. We also have networking opportunities with community partners. This year, it's going to be on December 10th from 8 to 1 at the Great American Ballpark. And I'll give you the link to sign up for our Eventbrite to follow us. But in addition to all of this, we work with our community partners very closely. They're the ones that provide all these resources that make it possible for you guys to continue growing your business. We have a partnership with the Small Business Administration. Up on the top right corner, that's one of our events we had with them. They do a lot of events with us, so they're a great resource. And all of our events are free. We don't charge for any of it, and we always provide food, which brings everybody in. Next slide. Okay, so to keep up with our trainings and events, follow us on Eventbrite. You can choose to be notified when we have a new event. Again, Eventbrite is really easy to navigate. It's free. And if you scan this QR code, it'll take you directly to Metro's small business page where you can get notified of all of our events. Next slide. Okay, that is the end of the presentation. If you want more information, you can contact me at twalker@go-metro.com. So thank you guys.
What? Oh, let me get off mute. Wonderful. Thank you so very much, Tara, for sharing this information. As I did mention, a PDF as well as the recording will be sent to everyone who's registered, probably by Friday, Monday at the very latest. is when you probably should be receiving that. But we want to take a moment to pause and see if anyone on the call has any questions at all.
I'll
Looks like
start us off. Dr. K, can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I was having audio issues earlier. I'm curious, Tara, I own a recruiting firm and curious how you all handle kind of internal talent acquisition and recruiting needs.
Sure. So we actually do outsource that. So Metro staff uses, right now we have a contract with Robert Half. We buy off of the state contract. So we don't, it's pre-solicited. It's worth taking a look at. If you aren't on the state contract, email me and I will give you that resource. But that's where some of our services come from.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Tara, I have a few
Sarah.
questions.
Yeah, go ahead, Molly.
Thanks so much. I'm Molly Barnes. I believe we've connected before in the past at some of your wonderful
Mhm.
events. I own Spotted Yeti Media. We are a video marketing agency providing both strategy and content creation. My first question was about your Metro Max program. Are those any small business opportunities specific to the local ones? Are those posted elsewhere from OpenGov, or would those be found there as well?
So all of our solicitations, you can see them on our website. It actually shows everything that um, we have solicited that was awarded, which you can see the awards also on OpenGov, but also what's out there right now. Um, we do have a directory for small businesses that we have that where we notify small businesses, but of solicitations. But if you sign up for OpenGov, it will notify you anytime something is released. It does get a little bit tedious and overwhelming because you're going to get every solicitation, which also includes our daily request for quotes for bus parts. So I'm very sorry. There's no way to turn that off, but that's the best way to do it.
Well, I do have it set to just the next codes, and I do
Oh,
get that one
good,
daily
good,
still.
good. Yeah.
But there have been some other ones that have come through.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you. My next question was, are you able to share if Metro has a contract threshold before going out to bid?
Yeah, of course. So right now, our threshold is anything under 10,000. It doesn't have to be done competitively. So we can go out and we can choose a firm and say, hey, can you do this for me? And then just proceed, right? We don't have to go through any competition. OpenGov is not required at that point. It's just about you being there, knowing our project managers, which was what the ice cream social was really about, getting that face-to-face time with our project managers so they have your information and can keep you in mind. But anything above 10,000 and above, 10,000 to 100,000, we can do a request for quotes. Now, sometimes we're still going to follow that sealed bid procedure because maybe it's required, like for architectural and engineering, we have to follow certain guidance, and part of that is proposal based, so qualifications based. So most of the time, if it's smaller and it's something we think we can just get easily, we don't need to evaluate it. We'll do a request for quotes. Anything over 100,000 has to be formal bidding. So you're going to see those larger projects, those multi-year contracts. You're going to see those as formal solicitations.
Awesome. And then just thank you so much. One final question. We are DBE certified and WBE certified, and we've gotten great advice from your team in terms of coming in as a sub on some of the their bigger contracts. And I know
Mhm.
you referenced the advertising agency
Yes.
RFP that's currently out there, and from my understanding, being resolved here soon.
Mhm.
We are a sub on a couple of those. Assuming that doesn't be awarded to one of the primes that we are a sub part of, what would be some advice to small businesses for other opportunities, knowing that that is a 5-year contract? How else can we stay connected to Metro, and or use our certifications with the DBE to help partner with you?
Yeah, yeah. So, um, Something that I always encourage, again, coming to our events, but also um, being certified in as many places that you possibly can is very helpful. When we run reports, when we're trying to source for small businesses, we're looking at directories from WeBank and the city of Cincinnati and the state, Ohio Minority Supplier Development, OMSDC. So we're looking at those directories, and if you pop up in that NAICS code, and make sure you have the right NAICS code. That's very important because I'm looking for small businesses by NAICS code. So if you fit into that NAICS code, um, that's where I'm going to find you. And they are very specific, so it's important to get it right. But definitely be on those directories. Also, when we do these solicitations, and I know there's subcontracting opportunities, I'll put that directory on OpenGov. It'll be an addendum. I'll post it out there, say, hey, here's all the contact information for these small businesses so that you know, so that they know who to contact. Another thing that is a tool that I feel like is really underused in OpenGov. You can designate yourself as a sub, and primes can designate as primes so that you guys have access to one another. But showing up to our pre-proposals, our pre-bid meetings, that's huge because that's where you're going to be able to ask the questions and you're going to be able to connect with those primes that are showing up. So you're not just looking in OpenGov and seeing this whole list of businesses that might bid, but may not, maybe they don't show interest. The people that show up to our pre-proposal and pre-bids more than likely are going to submit something. They have that heavy interest. So showing up to those events, keeping an eye out in OpenGov, designating yourself as a sub and making sure you're on all these directories. This is a great way for you to get exposure. And sometimes if you're just looking for someone to partner with, I may know somebody. You may say, hey, do you know Staples Advertising, which is someone we've done business with before, and I could say, yes, let me connect you. Because I think your network is your net worth, right? It's important to know as many people as possible. So I know that's a lot, but it's definitely something that I would encourage you to take a look at.
Thanks so much.
There's so many really good tidbits in there, Tara. Thank you so very much for taking that
No
time.
problem.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I would like to ask. So
Yeah.
thank you for all of this. This has been really very helpful. Molly asked some of the questions that I had, which was great. So I don't have to sound like I have a laundry list. So thank you, Molly. So I'm wondering, as a small business owner, what are you seeing as some of the pitfalls that we as small business owners are running into, and how can we avoid those?
This is a good one. Okay. The first thing I see is not being prepared when you submit a proposal or a bid. That's a huge one. So reading the instructions, that's I mean, I can't stress that enough. People will miss things, right? Even the simplest of things like an introduction letter. Sometimes they just overlook it and don't put that introductory letter in there that says, I'm this person, I have the funds to do this, this is what I plan on doing. It's that easy, but people overlook that. Another thing, if we're doing a proposal, a qualifications-based proposal process, you got to look at the criteria. So again, the instructions, the small pieces of these proposals and bids that you think, well, I don't need to read. You need to read every single bit of it. It's very important. Another thing, don't wait till the last minute to put this all together. We know when it looks rushed. I've seen rushed proposals and bids, and it doesn't work. We see that it looks sloppy, and I think the way you present yourself is really important because when it looks professional, when it is laid out just the way we need it to be, to understand what you're doing and how you're going to do it. it just makes a difference. But also, project approach. Make sure you read again, be creative, do all the things that you need to do to make yourself stand out. So that is one of the barriers I see. Another one is undercutting yourself, right? You're bidding and you're losing money, and you don't want to do that. It's a terrible idea. You need to make sure you understand, what you're getting yourself into and not biting off more than you can chew. Um, finance financials, that's a huge one as well. So sometimes people they commit to something, but then they can't make payroll, right? So you need to understand, what you're capable of, but also there are resources out there that can help you. They can spot you in between.
Right. Okay, great. That's very, very, very helpful. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. We'll pause. Are there any other questions at all? Excuse me. All right, hearing none, let me share my screen again. And Tara's information was in her deck, and so you'll all will have that. So as soon as you finish this meeting and click log out, and those 12 questions come to mind, you'll have her contact information, so that way you can reach back out to her again and ask her any additional questions. She's been a real jewel and is always available to our WBEs. And so Tara, we thank you as well as the company for all that you do in being a part of WeBEC ORV. I want to take a moment before we wrap up and I talk about some of our upcoming events. If you are not on your phone watching this, if you could take out your phone and scan this QR code and just fill out our brief survey that we have, that will help us to take that feedback and make these webinars that we have even more robust. We can't do that without hearing from all of you. If you happen to be on your phone or you're driving while you listen to this or whatever the case may be, and you can't do that right now, that's okay. When you receive that recap email, it will also include a link to this same survey. So whether you do it now or whether you do it later, I just ask that you do it once, just so that way we can get that feedback. That would be really appreciative, or really appreciated, I should say. And then just to kind of talk about some of the things that we have coming up here at WeBEC ORV. So September 10th, which is today, so later this late afternoon, early evening, I should say, at 4 o'clock, I believe, is our WBE Connect in Columbus. So our WBE Connects are a really great opportunity for both certified and non-certified WBEs to network and connect with one another. So if you are in the Columbus area, or if you feel like driving to the Columbus area later today, you can scan this QR code and you can get the information on that. I'll tell you, it will not allow you to register because registration is closed, but you can still show up. So you can shoot me an email if you don't have all the information that you need. If you want to get in that, be in the building for that. That's going to be a really great opportunity in Columbus later today. And then our Developing an Effective Capability Statement is a webinar that we do twice a year. If you do not have a capability statement, do not know what a capability statement is, have one, but you know it needs some work, or D, all of the above, that's definitely a webinar where you want to be. So we have a phenomenal facilitator that leads that webinar for us. And not only does she go through talking about what a capability statement is and what types of things should be included in it, she also is more than willing to review your capability statement and provide you with some direct feedback on your capability statements as well. So definitely September 23rd is something you'll want to mark on your calendar. We do have a WB Connect in Cincinnati on October 2nd. And so for those of you who are in the Cincinnati area, that's one that you'll want to attend as well. If you are a fairly new WBE or just want to figure out the best way to maximize your certification, October 9th is going to be a webinar that you will want to attend. And then for those, if you happen to be in West Virginia, or if you know somebody who is in West Virginia, we are doing a virtual WB Connect for the West Virginia area on November 12th. So you can always scan this QR code. It's going to take you to the events page on our website, and you can register for any of the events there. Also, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms, LinkedIn, as well as Facebook. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter as well. those three things is where all of the information is going to be housed. So if you feel like you're kind of missing out and you're not quite sure what's going on, those are the first things I always ask is, are you following us on our socials and have you subscribed to our newsletter? If you need that information about getting signed up for the newsletter or anything like that, please send me an email and let me know. Let me drop my email address in the chat really quickly so that you have it. And with that, are there any final questions at all? If not, thank you all for joining and enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you at an event soon. Bye, everybody.